Welcome to the stream.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to... And we're still not live. Let's wait on YouTube to get up to speed. Usually doesn't take this long. Could mean that there's an error on YouTube's end.
I just got the notification.
Well, here we are.
We're live.
We are live. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host, Eric Wilson. It might be the night of the 2023 NFL Draft, but it is also the night of Game 5 of the first round of the postseason between the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils. A big game. It's a tied series. It's not looking good right now. The Rangers are on a little bit of a cold streak, dropping 2 games in a row at home and allowing the Devils to tie up the series. But Game 5, back on the road, back in New Jersey, where the Rangers have found quite an abundance of success. Can they turn things around? Can they win this game and get back on top in the series? Well, we're going to go ahead and preview this game, discuss it before the game begins at, what time is the game, 7:30?
Yeah,
7:30. Less than an hour till
comments.
Game time. We're going to have a good and fun time chatting and previewing this game. So let us know what questions you have for us. Drop your thoughts and opinions right now in the chat, and we will sit here and discuss. But Eric, how are you doing today, and how confident are you feeling going into this game?
I mean, I'm good. You know, it's always that Rangers playoff game day anxiety that always sets in. But what time is it? 6:30. We're an hour away from game time. Fortunately, I won't be able to watch the first period most likely, but hopefully when I turn on period 2, it'll be like a 5-0 lead for the Rangers right now. But
that would be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm confident. You know, we've dropped 2 in a row. We haven't looked that good, but based on like quotes we've heard from Gallant and a couple of the players, it's like they're aware of their problems. They know they need to shoot the puck more. They know they need to like wake up. Otherwise, the season's going to end pretty soon. So I think that going into New Jersey and playing a road game would really wake them up. So I don't know. I have confidence.
Listen, they've had success here. They've had success in New Jersey. They won those 2 games, and they won them easily. It wasn't even close. 10-2, right, between those 2 games. So when you're looking at it from that perspective, this is where we want to be, right? We want to be on the road in New Jersey to bounce back and pick up some wins again. But what if we don't win this game? Then it's back to Madison Square Garden, where the Rangers have played rather poorly. So that's really the main concern with this game, and that's why, in my opinion, I think this is a must-win game for the Rangers. I don't trust them to win the series if they lose this game. I honestly believe that this game decides the series. If the Rangers win this game, I will feel confident that they can either pull out the game in Madison Square Garden or at least pull out Game 7 on the road again, go undefeated on the road. But if they lose this game, that's a tall task. Asking the Rangers, it's a tall order to ask the Rangers to win that game at home, then go back on the road and win again. So, in my opinion, this is a must-win game.
I mean, yeah, like I agree. It's a must-win game too. Winning back-to-back, one at home, then one away, it'd be tough. But I mean, like I'd like to have faith in the boys. I mean, we're deep into the series, 4 games in, Game 5 tonight, where like the road team has won every single game. So it's like it could happen, but that's not going to stay the same forever. So it's definitely a must-win game. This is 100% the Rangers' most important game that they've played within the last 86 games. So I had to do some quick math right there. But yeah, no, I totally agree. This is a huge game. If we're up 3-2 by the end of tonight, I think that the Rangers, they have to win one of the next 2, right? But if we lose, it'll be tough. It'll be doable, but it'll be tough, you know?
Yeah, 2 main takeaways that I have. Number 1, you are really bad at math. Number 2, this series maybe relies on the shoulders of Igor Shesterkin. I think he needs to be the one to save us. And honestly, these last 2 games that the Rangers have lost, he kind of has saved us. He's done a pretty fine job, in my opinion. I don't think that Igor has been anywhere close to the problem. But let's talk about a few of the problems. Now, we discussed a couple of them. I think that you're going to discuss one of them right there.
Well,
Panarin, Zibanejad.
I mean, I'll get into those 2 in just a brief second. I just want to hype up Igor real quick, where we've dropped back-to-back games, but we referenced this in yesterday's episode where the Game 3 loss was only 2-1. Igor only let in 2 goals. That's like a normal stat for a goalie. And then in Game 4, we lost 3-1. One was an empty netter. So again, really only just 2 goals where Igor is not the problem. Igor has played phenomenally. Where the problem lies is with the offense, where in these back-to-back losses, we've scored like a total of 2 goals. That's a goal a game, and that's not going to be enough. New Jersey's a young, hungry team. They got guys like Jack Hughes, Nico Heischer they're going to keep scoring goals.
They also have Jesus Christ himself in net, apparently. He was just buried on their roster. The third stringer just steps in. He's Jesus Christ, according to the NHL script.
The NHL script says he's Jesus, but in reality, is he Jesus?
No.
Or the Rangers?
Rangers are just Judas.
Yeah. The Rangers are only taking 23 shots a game. And then you got like Zibanejad and Panarin that aren't doing anything. Like in the regular season, Zibanejad and Panarin were our 2 highest scoring forwards. And then in the playoffs so far, Zibanejad only has 3 assists. Panarin has a goal and an assist. Like, I don't even remember Panarin scoring. Like
last 5 games, we've only played 4, okay. So it's also including the regular season game. But last 5 games, Zibanejad with 0 freaking goals. Come on now.
How is Zibanejad?
Yeah, how is Zibanejad going to have 0 goals in the last 5 games? I mean, that's including these 4 in the postseason, the 1 in the regular season. And honestly, we need to have a discussion about the fourth line right now. 0 goals, 0 assists for all 3 of the members of the fourth line. I get it. They're not playing that much. 9 minutes per game for VC. Goudreau's getting 11. Mott's getting 11. They're not on the ice all that much. But seriously, 0 points apiece from all 3 of those guys through 5 games? I don't think that's something that we've talked about enough. We were talking in the regular season about the Rangers are good because they have the depth, because the fourth line is good and they're scoring points. But right now, they're not scoring jack anything, bro. Yeah. 0 points? Come on. Something has to change for the fourth line. They got to step up their game.
I mean, like, I agree. Like, the fourth line, they need to score at least a goal or have an assist or something. But we can't really complain about the fourth line too much. Out of the last couple of games, pretty much the entire series, I will say one of the brightest shining statistics that we've seen so far is our penalty kill. Obviously, Tyler Mott, Barclay Goudreau, Jimmy Vesey, they're all on the penalty kill lines, and they've played great. I think in these 4 games, New Jersey has like 1 or 2 power play goals. So this series could honestly be a lot worse than it is right now. We're like the first 2 games were gimmies right there. But when I bring up earlier when I said how in games 3 and 4, it was a very low scoring game, that could easily be something different if our penalty killing wasn't the same. So it's like, yeah, we can hate on the fourth line right now as much as we want in regards to point scoring, but in their overall contribution to the game, I'm personally quite satisfied when it comes to the defense and the penalty killing aspect of it.
Sure, fine, but I'd like to see them score some points. Listen, they were putting points up towards the final stretch of the regular season, and that's one of the reasons we were so confident going into the regular season. But now they're not scoring points, and of course are going into the postseason, and now they're not scoring points, and the Rangers are, of course, struggling. But main player that I want to discuss here, Mika Zibanejad, okay, because, again, taking a look at his last 5 games, I wish we could just look at 4 games, but I don't know why this website only gives us 5, but 0 goals and 3 assists. He was a point-scoring machine in the month of March. Mika March was crazy, but Mika April has been a little hit or miss, and playoff Mika has been absent. So, what's going on with Mika Zibanejad? Eric, I know you're my expert here. Why don't you give me the rundown on Mika Zibanejad?
Well, I mean, for starters, here's all the playoff points right there for the team.
Yeah, dude, shout out Patrick Kane, shout out Adam Fox, shout out Kreider, 6 points apiece from those 3 guys. Heedle's also playing well with 3 points, but, I mean, come on. Panarin and Zibanejad with 2 points apiece. Trocheck with 1. Listen, I get it, points aren't everything, but they're usually a pretty good indicator of who's being productive and who's playing well.
I mean, on the subject of Zibanejad, when it comes to 5v5 play, meaning like no power play or penalty kill, in the regular season he was pretty good. He scored a lot of goals in the regular season. He always performed well, but I think the biggest problem that's really keeping Zibanejad down right now is something that we touched upon in yesterday's episode whenever we recorded that, was about the way that the power play is set up, where normally Zibanejad is over on that left circle all by himself waiting for that one-timer. And for some reason, the last 2 games, Panarin holds that spot and Zibanejad isn't there. So I don't know what Gerard Gallant is thinking. Hopefully that gets changed tonight. Make sure you take a look at that when we get our first power play of the night. Panarin hasn't done much on that left circle. He chooses to pass rather than take that one-timer slap shot. like we've seen Zibanejad score 1,000 times on. So I think that's the biggest problem holding Zibanejad back. He's on a power play where he's usually successful in a position that he's like rarely ever played in. So it's like, why did we switch it up? I don't know. I don't really agree with that decision.
All right. Well, Tom A thinks the series is over. He thinks the Devils won 4-1 tonight. Tom A also thinks Tarasenko and Kane are not great fits for low event hockey. I don't know if you have anything to say to either one of those things. I'll just say, Tom, a little bit more optimism. Come on. We've played well on the road in New Jersey. Let's be a little bit more optimistic. I don't think it's over before it starts, but I do think that if the Rangers lose this game, the series is over.
Yeah, I mean, I will say regarding the 4-1 prediction, Devils, it's over. It's like, sure, there's a very, very good possibility that New Jersey will come out. They have all of the momentum in the series right now, and they could possibly just dominate us right now. But I like to have faith in the team. You know, you always got to stay positive. We've played better on the road than we have at home this season. So take that stat as you will. Chance, like the literal like Vegas statistics are that the Rangers will win. I know I saw a post earlier where like some company ran like 100 simulations of this game and the Rangers won like 56% of them. So like the odds are quite literally in our favor, but you know, they're just odds. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I don't believe no algorithm, no AI.
But I don't know. Tarasenko and Kane, I honestly think they played well. In the first two games on the road, Tarasenko scored the opening goal both games. Kane has a bunch of assists. He has 6 points in 4 games. So sure, he hasn't made that much like a physical impact the last 2 games, but Kane is tied for the lead in points on the team right now. So
6 points in the series. Pretty good stuff.
It's playoff Kane. He's won a Conn Smythe for the MVP of the playoffs. He's won 3 Stanley Cups. He's won an Art Ross. He knows what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. And he's contributing right now. I think that really the biggest problem just comes from the rest of the top 6 right there regarding like Mika Zibanejad, Artemi Panarin, Vincent Trocheck. They are the ones that need to step up. Not Kane, not Tarasenko, not Kreider.
Hey, I agree with you, man. I agree. All right, let's look at Christopher Big Bear. I think the Devils are throwing everything defensively at guys like Brett and Mika. What is killing us is that third line is not picking up any slack. And I do think he's got a good point. We have discussed it. I mean, we discussed this a couple of days ago with the kid line and how if you're thinking back to last year, if you want to compare this series right now to last postseason, what is the kid line doing right now? Because last postseason, they were the catalyst. They were propelling us. I'm not saying that they're holding the team back, not necessarily with Christopher Big Bear here, but they're not picking up any slack either, right? So the slack from players like Zibanejad and Panarin, are they picking that up, or are they also just kind of doing their normal thing? I don't think they're picking up the slack, and I think that is part of the problem. When you have players in the top 6 who aren't performing well, you need your bottom 6 to start performing better than usual. We're not getting better than usual. They're not up to playoff hockey like they were last postseason. Yeah. So I agree with Christopher Big Bear. I don't think that the third line is picking up any of the slack.
I mean, like, I agree to a certain extent where, like, the kid line hasn't been as good as they were last postseason, but I don't think they're killing us. It's where it's like, I mean, after last game, Gerard Gallant had a lot to say. After that extremely disappointing, underwhelming loss in Game 4, he flamed everyone besides the kid line. And like, sure, the kid line didn't put up that many points so far. They've combined for like 1 goal, but they've been the best looking out of the last 2 games in our back-to-back losses, where like the first 2 lines disappeared. They were not only disappeared, they were a liability, where a lot of the goals that were scored were because of them. But the kid line in games 3 and 4, in my opinion, was the overall best line, despite a lack of points. But there was a lack of points across the board for everyone. So I might have to disagree, but also agree to a certain extent.
That's fine. We can have a fist fight to really iron. Whoa, that would be getting me even from what I got you.
Yeah, one time you punched me at the beginning of the episode.
As Fled, this is the playoffs. Every team knows one trick Mick, easy to defend. He is not Avi. I think that's also a good point. Kind of Ovi, but okay. But I think that's a good point, though, talking about Mika Zibanejad, when you're saying, why isn't he on the power play, in his normal spot doing his normal thing? Don't you think teams know that that's what's coming? He's going to do his normal thing in his normal spot. So maybe I'm not saying that I disagree with you in the fact that I agree with you, actually, that the Rangers shouldn't have moved him from that spot. Gerard Gallant should have kept him in that normal spot. But Maybe it was just overthinking. Maybe Gallant just overthought it and was like, hey, we got to move him because they know it's coming. Maybe it's like, okay, they know it's coming, but they can't stop it. I think that's probably the mindset that they should take.
I think it's definitely overthinking on Jordan Gallant's part. I mean, you look at Alex Ovechkin, where he's been scoring from that exact point for like over 15 years. And everyone knows it. That's like his signature spot. But no matter how much they cover him, he still does it. And sure, Zibanejad isn't Ovechkin, like, obviously, but he can do it. And like, you just look at like the beginning of the series, Chris Kreider stood in front of the net on the power play the entire time, deflecting goals. And it took them 2 full games, 6 periods to do something about it. And it's like one of those weird things where it's like, how do you not pick up on that like right away? But maybe it's like a heat of the moment and you're in the game, your mindset's on scoring goals. But I don't know. If you put Zibanejad on that circle, that's his spot. He will perform there. And sure, teams will know that it's coming, but
you can't stop it.
You can't stop it.
You can't stop it. So that's what I'm saying. I agree with you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how I feel. So Zibanejad needs to get back to his spot to do what he's doing. Jordan Saucier. Yes, sir. You've been in some of the Fireside Giants live streams, haven't you? Salute, my friend. John D'Amico. Love the content you guys put out. Thank you, John. Much appreciated. Have to say we should have shaken up our forward lines to try and get something going for tonight. Agree or disagree? I don't disagree. I don't know if I necessarily agree. I think I do agree. I mean, we talked about it the other day, Eric, just kind of speaking on the fact that the top 6 isn't working. Maybe someone needs to move, right? Maybe you put Panarin on the first line for a change, right? Maybe you throw Zibanejad down to the second. We've got Kane on the first line right now. Maybe he should be back on the second. Who knows? Maybe him and Panarin. I know they weren't clicking for most of the regular season, at the start there when we traded for Kane. But it's the playoffs. Maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe they start clicking. I don't know. I just think that, listen, I think there's 2 ways to look at it, right? You've got the first way of looking at it as the Rangers got really stagnant. It's time to change things up. Or the Rangers got stagnant, but they just had a day off. Hopefully they come out of that day off feeling really good and fresh and they play better. Yeah. So I think, listen, Gallant said that the day off was a huge deal for them and that it was able to let the team reset and get ready for the final stretch of the series. But again, I don't know. I do think it's a healthy debate to have about should Gallant, switch up the lines. I don't know.
So if I were Gerard Gallant, here's what I would do, right? You look at the current lines they've been practicing with. First line, Kreider, Zibanejad, Kane. Then Panarin, Trocheck, Tarasenko. That's what we've seen. That I would keep the third and fourth line the same. Obviously the kid line stays together, and then the fourth line's the fourth line. I would walk into Game 5 with that same lineup: 20, 93, 88, 10, 16, 91. And I would keep it that way for winning. But after the first period, if we were either losing or somehow tied, but like we don't look that good, I would put Panarin and Tarasenko up on the first with Zibanejad and then have Kreider and Kane down with Trocheck, because as much as we wanted to see it work, Panarin and Kane don't work well together. So there's like anymore, I should say. They used to work.
I'm going to hold out hope. I think that there is an opportunity here where if they're back on the same line, they could maybe find a spark. I don't know.
It's very possible, and maybe the playoffs will be the thing to bring that out of them, where they're both like contributing as hard and as much as they can. But in my opinion, like we saw it a little bit in Game 3 and 4, where it was Panarin, Zibanejad, Tarasenko. That was a very good line, and then Kreider, Trocheck, and Kane. Like they didn't produce, but they looked good. So that would be the only thing I would change going to Game 5.
Well, Greg Romeo believes that this is a must-win game. I've been saying the same thing. I 1,000% agree. I really just, if they lose this game 3 in a row, dude, 3 losses in a row, I'm going to lose all faith, unfortunately. All right, let's see. Edwin, go Fireside. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Gallant still has tuba on tuba. He wrote tuba. Not my fault. Yeah. He wrote tuba on Power Play 2.
I can touch upon this. I don't know if any of y'all are returning viewers from the Game 4 pregame live stream, and I did solo while he was busy. We actually had a discussion about this. I agree. I don't understand why Jacob Trouba's on the second power play. It's like he's good. He has he's large build and he knows how to hit people and he brings that level of physicality. But when you're on the power play, that's not really what you're looking for. You kind of want an offensive defenseman who's going to help you set up the zone, make some passes, put the puck on net, and then, God forbid, the other team gets the puck and tries to carry it down, can defend a 2-on-1. And I think that belongs to Keandre Miller. And I know he's
Just about to say
young.
that.
I know he's young. I know he's a little inexperienced in the playoffs. He's only had like the one run from last year, but Jacob Trouba, I love him. I love Trouba. He's our captain. He's great, but I don't see him belonging on that second power play, if I'm being completely honest. So yes, I agree with you. He should not be on there.
Yeah, Keandre Miller, man, I think that he provides a whole lot more offensively. So Zibanejad needs to move back to his old spot. There's no reason to move him. We kind of just touched on that. We
Agreed.
both agree. Michael C., I'd like to see Trouba throw a nasty open ice hit early when they try to enter the zone. I don't think we've seen any of that yet. Hey, that's what I said before the series even started. I said, let's set the tone game one. And I think he did have a big hit in game one. He hasn't had one since, but in game one, he did have a big hit. Set the tone. Rangers won. Rangers won the next game. It's very important. Trouba's the captain. They look up to him. He sets the tone. When he's angry, when he's hitting people, that's when things start to go in the Rangers' favor. So I agree with you. But I think this is a good point from Edwin. Shoot the puck. Shoot the puck.
Yes, please shoot the
Slap
puck.
shots, wrist shots, backhands. Shoot the puck. Right? I do think that the Rangers need to start putting up more shots. It's utterly ridiculous how long we just watch Artemi Panarin stand there with the puck at his feet, right at his stick, and do nothing with it. Just pass it off at the end of the day. So I 1,000% agree with you, Edwin. And listen, guys, we're going to have to cut this one short in just a couple minutes here, but we will go through a couple more questions. Eric, let's see. Which one do you want here?
You keep moving. I can't read it.
Oops.
What's that long one by Wilbur?
All right,
I haven't read it. We're just gonna pull it
I
up.
wouldn't be against that, but Brad was at a lot of this year and did fine. He is very high risk, but he's dangerous sniping shots through or setting up one-timers. Listen, no one's saying Panarin's a bad player or anything, but he's just inconsistent right now. He's in a funk, and I don't really know how to help him. But what do you think?
I mean, like Wilbur kind of disagreed with what we said. Like, I wouldn't be against it, but he's been good at the point. Like, that's what the Rangers need. You know, Zibanejad shouldn't be the one at the point. It needs to like be Zibanejad in the circle. Panarin shouldn't be on that circle. Like, I don't know. That definitely needs to be switched. I have no idea what Gerard Gallant is thinking, and like it kind of is infuriating. If you watch the game tonight and we get a power play and Panarin is on that left circle, I want you to think about me sitting on my couch screaming, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to wrap this one up here, but thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy the game tonight. We will, of course, hit you with a post-game recap tomorrow, a little bit of a reaction and discussing the game, going over what happened, hopefully what went right for the Rangers, and a little bit of what went wrong, but hopefully more of what went right.
Hopefully nothing
and also,
went wrong.
hopefully nothing goes wrong. And also, if you're a fan of football, fan of the NFL, make sure to tune into Fireside Giants as well. We'll be posting content tonight covering the NFL draft. But without further ado, thank you so much for tuning into this Fireside Rangers live stream. We're going to do plenty more throughout the rest of the postseason, which hopefully continues for quite a while. But we're going to catch you in the next one. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Ring the bell so you don't miss an episode. And again, have a good one. And let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers.
Woo.